Yo, what's up? I'm Grizz. Welcome back. More Skip and Loafer. I'm excited, but a little nervous about some things that could be going down here. I am unfortunately having the suspicion, I guess, that Shima's gonna kind of get to a point where somebody like Mitsumi says something and it's gonna kind of send them over the edge, or maybe they try and pry a little bit, but like not really trying to. They might just say something that kind of flares up something, some memory from his past, and it gets him angry and he just starts lashing out on them. So I'm really hoping that something like that doesn't happen here, but I'm assuming that's gonna happen at some point, as that's probably the only way that he's really gonna grow past this, is if he realizes, you know, what him trying to hide things is gonna end up doing to the others and stuff like that around him. Now, a lot of you seem to be on Miko's side a lot last week, or maybe just trying to send a reminder about how she might not be acting with bad intentions. So that sends an immediate response to me that she's going to overcome this somehow, or go over an arc and we get to learn a little bit about her. Find out that she's not actually like that. That's okay though, if that's the case. I was suspecting that we were going to get something like that at some point anyways. And I think a lot of the criticism and the points people brought up are valid as well, about the idea of her being younger and about the idea of her not intentionally trying to be so rude, but maybe just not knowing how to go about things in the proper way, and maybe kind of needing something like this to happen for her to realize this isn't, you know, people around her aren't going to put up with this kind of shit, and maybe, you know, let her change a little bit, or she just doesn't know how to interact as well with other people as she thinks she does, or just other things that could be going on internally with her. Right now, we're still not a fan, but we can let her grow and we'll figure out how that goes. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode, the series, or maybe anything that you want to see me watch at some other point. Let's get going though with episode 3. She got the black socks on today. Does she always have them on? I feel like that's different. Oh yes, we're becoming an officer, right? Or we're joining the student council. But this is your entire future right here.
中学なんかは全校で26人しかいませんでしたが、でもみんなの学校生活をより良くするにはどうしたらいいのか、子供の頭で一生懸命考えてましたね。
I like how she has goals and dreams like this, but she's also in her own little world and imagining this type of stuff. But I am no simple girl. I can overcome anything. Oh yes, I am changing the future. Yeah, you can have a friend. Oh no, that's too much. Is it that simple? Can I join in? Yeah. Fears that others have all the time. Right, you spent too long in your own head. Didn't take any action and things formed around you. She's the girl on the outside who observes everybody and knows who everybody is, but by him though. But she's too afraid to like converse with them and what? How do we join? She seems a bit more serious than him, like she would be, but alright. Support team, alright. Cool. Okay, so that was her whole reason for coming then. Oh my god. She's like, ah, it's not that bad. Like, you can handle it. Oh yeah, you're a little obsessive here. I'm good. Yeah, nah. I'm gonna pass. Nah, hang out with us. This could be a big step for you. You can't keep doing that. It's so goofy. So over the top. Ah, it was this. This is all you wanted. Aww.
こんな浮かれた飲み物一生飲む気になってたのに私も何同じの注文しちゃってるんだろう圧がすごかったと
Yeah, that's alright though.
いざ
Too bad. Aww.
もちもちしてまろやかで
よかったね思ってたより美味しい
It's something you would never know if you never came here though. Why is he just looking at me? Let my guard down.
ツバメ会に入るの
Maybe.
私は入るよ俺は保留かな
Yeah, he's got some other things.
みつみちゃんについていっただけだし
Mm.
そうなの
どうかした
You're kind of just staring.
意外
あ、二人全然タイプが違うのに仲いいからどうしたらそんな風になれるのかどう趣味があったら気が合うってわけでもないしね
Right.
ちょっとしたことなんじゃないかな一緒に
And it's fun to spend time with other people who have complete different things, can give you unique takes on things and put you in situations you never would put yourself in. This is your chance. This is your chance. I like how encouraging he is. It's so cute. Nice. One massive step. Aww.
血がこっち向けばいいのか
あれみつみちゃんそれ
やってやって
Nice. Aw.
なぜ
このまま送っちゃおうよ
Yeah, that's even funnier. Aww.
めちゃくちゃ悲しんでる
Yeah, see, now it's okay for you to lean in and join in on them. That's sweet.
しかったかなくるめさん
大丈夫でしょう
And then the concern if you right.
また
If you put others in the position to have fun as well. More worried about if they had fun than you. Put a little smile on her face. There you go. Perfect. Aww.
結構派手で可愛いもの好きね
Nothing wrong with that though.
チェックのパンツも持ってなかったかしら
行きます
Aww. No, 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 no. It's a little overboard. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
お願い今回はナオちゃんにも
No, you gotta teach her.
今週末まで
Aww. Yeah, she's taking the chance to invite someone out.
英語もあったんだ
よしせーの一緒に行かない
いいの
Yeah. Are they gonna invite,
みつみちゃん
yeah, the others are all gonna come now.
学級代表集まれだって
Oh, look at all the people that are gonna come now.
ばっかやってるやつでしょナイスタイミング
Not a bad thing, but if she literally, like, it might be too much for her. Too many people. Yeah. Ah, fuck. It was hard enough to ask one, and now you have to be there with 15 people. There you go, there you go. Only wear the sweater.
有名なハチ公像
思った通りこの二人絶妙にダサいそれに比べて入学前ファッション誌を読み込んだ私
So full of yourself. Alright, buddy. Relax. It's a great outfit, though, I will say. It looks good.
ちょっとみたいで悪いの
I almost feel bad. I look so good in comparison.
ゆずちゃんも呼んだんだ
Oh, no.
おはよ
Showing everyone.
岩倉さんグッジョブ
Yeah.
シンプルな格好で決まるんだよね
Yeah. Doubting herself more now.
こんなコテコテ着飾らなくたって
Yeah.
江頭さんって
Have
おしゃれ
fun.
なんだね
There you go.
洋服とか好きなの
He's very good at reading cues. Like, very good. Probably his acting history, but yeah.
それ私も使ってるいいよね
Just, she's not as intimidating as she might look. Come on.
できた
She's kind of getting ignored. Or not included as well.
はいキャラメルポップコーンが楽しみだったんだ
They're gonna be out when she gets there.
キャラメル派
私も
俺も
I'm different.
私は塩
Let's go!
やった
Now you can relate on something. She's put off by it though. It's fun. I like that. Yeah, you probably didn't want all these people, huh? Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a crazy thing to just pull out and say, though. She gets nervous about being around so many people. It's difficult for her to open up, yeah. I can't even, yeah. But now she throws it all on herself and she's gonna try her hardest to make sure people are having fun, and putting her next to Shima was probably a good idea though. Help. No. Wait a minute. Is the salted better? Oh no, it needs to be real. The movie hasn't even started. You can't play both sides. Mm-hmm.
キャラメル&塩苦手なタイプだったのは本当だけど変わりたいと思ってるし村重さんのことも知れたらいいと思ってる
Easier to put into writing than to verbalize it. That's nice she was able to say it though.
ヘアアクセとか買おうよ髪長いのにもったいないいいよ絶対似合う例えばヘアクリップでもさ手軽だけど
She's like, they like each other now. What happened? Good, good. Mika being left out, I was just thinking that too. So she's only focusing on that, but everybody else seems to be forming groups that don't involve her too.
人の記憶だと思います。なので私はきっとこの場所を好きになります。
The funny thing about this show to me is it's not complex, I guess. Like, while certain people within it and characters may be a little bit, which is just due to the nature of how people actually act and are, it's not something that's like too out there. It's literally following people in their daily lives and learning things such as how relationships with each other work and picking up on cues between people, and, you know, dealing with having people who might have conflicting interests or trying to group together a bunch of people, and just how certain things like that work, and you just figuring out things in your daily lives. And it works extremely well. It doesn't need any like absurd comedy. It doesn't need any like absurd other person, evil villainous person coming in and kind of just ruining the vibe between everybody, despite maybe Mika being a little bit more out there because she's trying a little too hard on her end for certain things. This episode is a perfect example of she didn't intrude at all. Like, she was there, and she might have been focused on certain things that she was doing, but she didn't put other people down, and she wasn't in a position to like do something like that. A little bit like kind of how last episode went. And it's nice to see we don't need stuff like that to allow the show to function perfectly and get people immersed into it and make it feel as just wholesome and heartwarming as it actually does. And it's excellently done just for that. We basically spent a majority of this episode focused on kind of two things, Kurume and Mitsume, I would say. Those are like the two big people taking big steps here. And the other characters have, you know, of course, things implemented in and allow this episode to really function and really get out of it like what you're trying or what was intended here. Those two took pretty big steps for themselves. without, well, I guess they both did realizing it, but they ended up both taking very, very big steps, which was very lovely to end up seeing, and them kind of at least coming around to the idea of, in Mitsumi's situation, picking up a little bit more on cues about maybe how other people act or what other people might want, and then Kurume being like, this isn't the type of group I want to be in, this isn't like all of this stuff, but still trying to keep an open mind and try and be positive about these things, despite maybe not wanting to be there all the time, and at the end kind of fully coming around to the idea that I want to give this a shot. I don't like how I am, and I think I need to change that, and I understand that, but it's difficult for me. It's difficult to put myself in those situations, so I'll take it one step at a time and try this, and one person at a time, really, which was really, really nice to see. We essentially opened the episode and really set things up with the idea that we're trying to join clubs and people have to figure that out, which was something that we left off on last time. And in this situation, Mitsumi still wants to become a part of the student council. That's kind of what her goal is here, because all the other clubs and stuff don't really interest her too much. So she's kind of going around and figuring out what she wants to do. This is kind of something that interests her. Unfortunately, you find out that you can't actually just join. You have to be appointed or picked or whatever requirements they really have. And she can't just join, which breaks her heart, right? And you also find out that there is another like subgroup of them, people who work together to help coordinate certain events and certain things that they do at the school. So she can at least be part of that and kind of get some sort of experience with being in the council and figuring out how all that works. Really nice to see, and just allow her to kind of gain something from that and still feel like she's being a part of it and being of use, which is really nice. We meet Kurume here and we get to meet exactly kind of the person that she is. She is very, I guess shy would be the word. She's very closed off as well. She's very afraid to speak up, state things that she wants, how she feels. She doesn't like approach others, come in between them. She doesn't want to ruin anybody else's time or have other people constantly thinking about the things that maybe she's done or the things that she said. She's one of those people. There's plenty of people like that out there. And it's one of those, you're always stuck in your own head, unfortunately. That's the situation that she's in. She's like, oh, if I come in, are they going to, everybody inside the student council, everybody else trying to join now, are they going to look at me? Are they going to be like, oh, what is this girl doing here? Oh, she's just weighing us down. Oh, she's being useless. We don't need her here. Or she doesn't offer anything to us. And even if she does, be like, oh, we don't enjoy her presence or something. It's always something ticking in her head, right? That's making her think, I'm not enough. I'm not useful. I'm not, there's no purpose for me to kind of be here in a way, right? Which is very, very, very sad for that to be the case. But there are plenty of people in real life exactly like this. They're worried about intruding on others. They're worried about just how they present themselves and how other people see them. And they're worried about just every little thing, and no person, literally nobody. And if there actually is anybody, it's a very, very small amount of people actually remember the things that you do over time, or remember certain specific details that you're always hung up on and you're always concerned about or worried about. And a lot of times people like her who are too afraid to kind of jump in on a conversation or jump in and put themselves in a situation that they could be better at or enjoy, you know, their lives a little bit more, and would kind of give themselves value, and they would make them feel like they're a part of something. People like her who are afraid to join in and do that kind of stuff think it's literally a result of not being wanted and people not wanting them to be around. But it's literally human nature where people want you to kind of be there. They want to have people around them. They like meeting new people. Not everybody, some people sure are different, but a lot of times there's other people who are exactly like her and very similar to her. Mitsumi's kind of an example where Mitsumi can approach people and kind of can say things. She's not as, I guess, shy and reserved. She is a little bit shy, but she's not to the same exact level. But she's somebody who, if she was never invited to do things, if she was never approached first in certain ways, she wouldn't be able to have the connections and the friends that she kind of has right now, and the position that she's been able to put herself in. And that is a very, so having somebody like this around and having Kurume being, you know, that person who can just fall into being victim of not being able to approach, you know, others and not be able to put herself in these good situations. It's nice to see somebody like Mitsumi kind of finally taking notice of the way that things kind of worked out in her way and her benefit, and how she can apply that same logic into trying to get somebody else involved and give back to somebody in some sort of way. And we find that all out, that she is thinking this way and she does want this to happen, and doesn't want to become friends with her, and she wants to ask her plenty of things and has a whole bunch of stuff that she's going on that she's interested in, right? And we find all that out through the fact that she tells that to Shima, and she's like, oh, I want to do all this, and then starts reflecting on the idea that she only has gotten people like Yuzuki's number and our contact info and stuff like that because other people have approached her and asked her, even though she's not the one who's taken that first step. And maybe somebody like Kurume would really like that, and she would really want to be involved with other people, but you won't know unless you try, and she's afraid kind of to do that. So it makes perfect opportunity for Mitsumi to be like, all right, let's go out, let's hang out together, and at the same time I can work up the confidence myself to try and figure out how exactly I'm going to ask you to, you know, do this so that we can be more friendly with each other. The whole Starbucks scene is very, very cute, and I love this actually a lot. The confusion almost of Kurume being like, these two people are getting along very well. One of them is very popular and everybody kind of just flocks to him, and the other seems to be very confident in herself and her abilities, and the first day made, you know, a name for herself by throwing up on the teacher and everything else that was going down with her. I don't fit in with these kind of people. And then the more she kind of observed the way that they were talking to each other, she kind of noticed, oh, this isn't like normal in a way. These two have a weird relationship in a way that they can kind of work together really well, despite how different they are, despite how different they might be, I guess, from an outside perspective and like socially, but they do get along really well. Why, like, what is the common ground that they share, right? And that's where she kind of gets to figure out the idea that these two, even themselves, see the idea that they're not the same at all, and they are very different, and that's what the joy in this is, that the idea that you can meet somebody else, and you can have somebody else around you who's entirely different, who maybe you share entirely different views with, and you don't agree with on a lot of things, and maybe you just don't enjoy a lot of the same things, but being in that person's presence for whatever reason is enjoyable, and you find it enjoyable being able to hear these stories and learn about things and listen to somebody speak passionately maybe about the things that they like and the things that they feel, and maybe things that you can never really truly relate to and understand, but you can understand it on a level that there's things that you really like and enjoy that they can't understand, and you can kind of share those experiences with each other. And she's kind of being led into this world of, there's an opportunity for that. There's opportunity for people who are completely different and completely on the outside, right? And we see that perfectly with when they get the text from Yuzuki being like, oh, why didn't you guys invite me? Because she feels kind of lonely about it, right? She wants to be involved and she wants to hang out with these people. And it allows Kurume to kind of be like, this is a girl who the first time I saw her, I got kind of jealous. And I wouldn't say jealous. She got kind of like, this girl is too popular. She's too pretty. She's too socially, you know, on a different level than I am. And people view her a different way. And she's kind of outgoing and all this other stuff that I'm not, right? And then her being able to see the text from her of being like, oh, I'm sad that I didn't get invited or whatever, makes her kind of be like, this is a girl who's entirely different from Mitsumi as well, but they get along so well and she wants to be there and she wants to be hanging out with her. I could be just like that in a way, right? Couldn't I? Can I relate to this? There's another person out there who feels the same things that I probably feel, where I'm kind of sad that I won't be involved and be invited about things with people because I feel like I'm so different from them. But here's a girl who I think is on top of the world and is capable of everything, but she's also upset about the idea that she can't hang out with these people who you might look at as lower than her in a way from the outside. And it's interesting because she can finally put herself in that position and come out into this understanding that other people are just like her, and maybe she isn't as far removed from them as she really thinks that she is, and she kind of just has to work on improving herself a little bit in her social abilities and her anxiety and kind of just getting out there. I think the scene with the camera, like the picture and all that, was really cute and really fun. Mitsumi finding so much joy in going to a place such as Starbucks and experiencing all these things for the first time is really enjoyable, and allowed Kurume to be like, oh, I've never really thought about doing something like this, and here's this other girl who is beyond excited to be here, and I'm kind of just a little weirded out, like, and I don't want to be here, and I never thought I would be here, but here she is so excited to experience this for the first time. Maybe I should kind of lighten up a little bit and have a little bit more fun with myself and enjoy this. And then just also the scene of them showing her with the, like, being like a baby duck and like watching on to her, she's learning and experiencing these new things, was really cool. The fashion scene where now talks about how she's taken an interest into fashion a little bit, but then she's like, oh, she's picked out some pretty out there and unique items, and then she just puts them all on at once, which does not go well, and her fashion sense needs a little bit of work here. But it was really fun to see that, her being now being like, oh, I gotta help her out a bit more and really, you know, make sure that she doesn't go out looking like this. So they're able to compromise, and when they're all able to go out, she wears one of the things and not everything. And she kind of helps style her a little bit more and do all of that, which was really nice to see. The scene of Kurume asking for Mitsumi to go hang out and watch a movie was very I don't know how to feel. I feel I'm happy for her, but I'm sad at the same time. She was finally able to kind of get out there and ask somebody to hang out for once and be able to put herself in this position that she's never been able to before, and put herself out there and ask for somebody basically, and being able to see her kind of grow this relationship slowly now with Mitsumi, and Mitsumi being so open to the idea and wanting to hang out with her, and then Kuruma gets so happy with the nice little fist pump and everything after she kind of was like, yeah, I'm down to hang out, and then everybody else just shows up and they're like, oh, that's cool, oh, that's cool, and they all plan to go hang out and do this together. It kind of just spoils the mood for it to be like, God damn it, now I gotta hang out with all of these people. So it's a little sad because she's somebody who needs to take this one step at a time. She doesn't need all these people around her because she's uncomfortable, especially in such a large group, and she needs to slowly build up her confidence in the way that she can deal with all these people. She got kind of forced into hanging out with all of them at once, but it works out well because ultimately she's able to understand some of these other people she's hanging out with and find common ground with Yuzuki, as we'll end up getting to later, and it's ended up turning out to be a great situation. And it's one of those things, she'll never have gotten this opportunity, she would never have put herself out here if it wasn't for Mitsumi, so she has to be very thankful for that. But she also wouldn't have gotten to the situation where she could try and start over and find some common ground and some, possibly be friends now with Yuzuki if it wasn't for all these other people coming up and kind of throwing her into the situation that she didn't necessarily want to be in, and her just willingness to kind of put herself out there and not skip out on this and not maybe just not show up, or maybe be like, actually, I'm not going to go anymore, or try and change plans or whatever. It ultimately ended up working out, and it's because she put herself in a spot that she's never been in before, and she's trying something new, similar to how she literally just observed the fact that Mitsumi was able to try something new, and being with somebody like Shima who's so different and is constantly experiencing these things. Sometimes it is fun to just be around people who get to try things for once and try, putting yourself out there. On arrival to the movie, we all decide to go and get some food and everything like that. All seems to be good. I like kind of how we're set up, at least the way that people are sitting, and seating is very, very important. It absolutely is. That's one of those things you actually have to think about. And I know I put myself in that situation all the time. For depending on where you are, if you're at an event and you need to put yourself in a spot to view something, but also if you're socially at something and you need to put yourself in a spot that you feel comfortable and you're not just kind of sitting there doing nothing and you don't feel outcasted, you kind of need to sit in a appropriate spot, right, and around certain people. And it's something that I think often gets overlooked by people. So I think the way that we were set up at this exact location makes a ton of sense. Keeping Miko kind of away a little bit on the other side a bit of the table so that she won't really interact or try and do anything with the girls on the other side, and then keeping Kurume and Mitsumi on one side while Yuzuki, because Yuzuki's only really friendly, well, she's very nice and easy to get along with, it seems like, with everybody. She's only really friendly so far towards Mitsumi, so keeping her close enough to them while Shima's kind of in the middle ground between all the guys that are there, and then he can also work and talk to the other people around him. It works out really well. Anyways, what I really liked about this scene, though, while we were seeing all of them kind of get along and do things, is the mind reading in a way, and the picking up on cues that Shima and Yuzuki can both very much do. They're people who are very aware and very, of what other people are thinking and what possibly could be going on in their head, and they try and pick up on that a lot. Yuzuki is able to very early, like easily pick up on the idea that Kurume is trying to talk to Mitsumi, and every time she tries to butt in, or every time that it's just her and Mitsumi talking or something like that, Kurume seems to be kind of put off by it or kind of left out, and it makes her fully understand, if I get involved, this girl's going to kind of be put off by me, and maybe I should say something, maybe I should make sure that she's okay, or maybe, make sure that she's at least aware that I'm aware that she might be uncomfortable in these situations, and I'm not trying to make her uncomfortable, I'm just trying to engage a little bit and maybe get her to open up or feel a bit more comfortable, and that I'm not really trying to be rude or put her in a position that's going to make her feel uncomfortable. And then on the other end, having Miko be the person who kind of dresses up and be like, oh, I kind of look a little too good right now because all these other girls are kind of dressed so plain, kind of matching their personalities maybe in a little bit. And then Yuzuki shows up, and Yuzuki's dressed probably just as plain as them. And when she comes, it looks so much better though. It comes off so much different, and it kind of puts Mika in a position where she gets very upset about the idea, because she's like, I'm somebody who has to try. I'm somebody who has to put a ton of effort into everything that I do, and if for it to work out. And then there's people who just naturally are gifted and have this, just like Yuzuki, and it does not matter if they try or not, and that it's a very unfair thing, which is absolutely true. It's very unfair, and that happens with all aspects of life. The easiest thing for me to compare it to is something like sports. People plenty of times have just better at it, right? Some people practice a ton day in and day out, and sometimes they'll just never be as good as somebody else who maybe gives 30% of what they're doing. Now, as you get to the higher levels, that gets a little bit more iffy, but especially like in the school level where they're at, that's very possible that stuff like that can occur, and it's very demoralizing to see something like that occur. So as you see Mika's kind of getting put down by it, we got our little mind reader over here with Shima picking up on the cue that she might be a little upset. How he's able to pick up the idea that it's literally just related to the outfit thing, kind of wild, but him able to pick it up and kind of give her a compliment and kind of boost her ego a little bit, get her up there and bring her spirits up, was really nice to see. And I would assume his ability to pick up on these cues and stuff like that is a direct result of his previous acting experience and his previous kind of having to pick up on cues of other people and how they're acting and the emotions and stuff they have, and maybe just body language and all that other stuff, and him being able to apply that into real world situations here, which is why maybe it's so easy for him to put on a mask that he has around other people and him kind of pick up on other things that they're doing and him kind of act just the way that he is, because he's realistically is acting and not just straight up being who he probably is, and we're never really going to be able to see him. It was also nice to see Mika be like, this guy's a mystery as well, and we're slowly getting more and more people be like, what is his deal, because they're kind of realizing that he comes off very nice and kind, and he really might not be at the end of the day, and we have to, I guess, at least be aware that that could be a possibility, because it does seem like he is hiding something here still, or just maybe hiding his true nature. So we got to figure that out. When we leave, Yuzuki being able to tell Kurume, hey, I understand, I've picked up on it, basically, you don't seem too comfortable, especially around people like me, and it's all right though, just relax, like I'm really not trying to do anything too bad, and if you want after this, we don't gotta hang out, we don't gotta talk, sorry, I understand you probably didn't want all these people around either, but things unfortunately happened. Just, try and enjoy yourself to the best of your ability here. Which is just kind of crazy how, I guess her and Shima are very similar in a way, with the way that they act and their ability to pick up on other people and just their status and their looks and everything that they have going for them. But when you look at Shima and the way he's doing it, it feels forced in a way. It doesn't feel like he's as natural as he should be. Whereas when I look at Yuzuki, I really feel like she's not trying to hide stuff, and I really feel like she's genuinely being her, which is, I don't know, maybe I'm the one that's bad at reading people, but that's kind of just the vibes I'm getting so far through the characters. I like me getting concerned. She's like, oh, there's some tension going on between them, I don't know what to do. And when they get to the movie, she's she purposely sits right between them and forces them to kind of space out a little bit, and that they both can communicate with her if they need to, but that they don't have to directly contact each other, which is really, really cool. I thought that was really funny, because she said it before and she's trying again. She's trying to take notice and trying to take action and understand people a bit more and make sure that people are happy and comfortable, which is something else actually I did bring up before. She concerns me because she is very, I would say, similar to me in this sense, where you get a group of people together, especially if it's something you coordinate, and you are spending the entirety of the time trying to do things or trying to say things and worried about if this person is having fun and trying to be concerned for them mainly, instead of being focused on having fun yourself. And then by the time you get back to be able to reflect, like, oh, I hope they had a good time, I hope they really enjoy it. And then even if they say they did have one, it's like, were they being, genuine? Do they really feel that way? And then you overthink everything over and over, and that's something that I just relate to a lot. And then you realize at the end of the day, I didn't even know if I have fun. Like, I was so focused on, putting everybody else in these positions and setting things up so people could have fun besides me, and I don't even know if I did. And I've been a victim to it many times, but it's my own fault. Put myself in that one situation, and it sucks to be like that. So it's unfortunate that she has been putting herself in that spot, but I guess it is a good thing that she's at least aware enough that she's like trying to make sure that other people are enjoying themselves and trying to read what the situation in the room and what's going on, and making sure that if it seems like somebody's uncomfortable or doesn't want to be there, that she can kind of move things into a different direction and get them out of there quicker. I like Kurume taking charge and messaging Yuzuki and letting her know that people like her she doesn't really get along with, and she understands that they're not on the same page, but she does want to get along with her more. She does want to, you know, understand people like her and try at least, right? And she wants to give it a shot, and at least her being able to put it out there. And despite the fact that she probably couldn't verbalize it, being able to send a text is a lot, and it's a big step for her to be able to at least take and put it out there at least. And plus it gave her peace of mind probably before the movie began, so she didn't have to sit through the whole thing wondering what was going on between them, and if, you know, make sure that things were okay, and she could kind of relax a little bit. Finally at the end, we get a little bit Yuzuki and Kurume kind of talking about like hairpins and like getting her stuff to style her up, so them kind of bonding a little bit more and getting that going. And then Mika being a little bit concerned, like, why does he get so along, or why does Shima get along so well with Mitsumi? What is their relationship like? Why are they like a group of people? Why does their pairing get along so well, and what it is that she's doing wrong? And while, I mean, we expect her to kind of have that thought, she's literally had this thought before, what interested me most was the way that the groups are kind of set up, because as we're sitting down at the movie, she's next to Shima, but far away from all the other girls and even the other guys, right? As we're sitting down at the dinner or eating food, right? She's on the other side, kind of away from everybody else and kind of not putting herself in that position to be with them. As we're walking after the movie, you have Mitsumi, Kurume, and Yuzuki being up front. Then you have Mika all the way in the back, like kind of right next to, but behind Shima a little bit. And it's like, what exactly is she, you know, where is she at in this whole dynamic, in this whole group? She's so focused on getting this one guy to kind of pay attention or like her in a way that she probably doesn't even realize she's kind of isolating herself from all the others in this group. And unfortunately, they're not mean, right? Like she could easily go up to them and kind of get on good terms with them, but is at the point that maybe, you know, they're going to start doing things and start hanging out, and people are going to start doing things where she might not get invited to them because she's so distant from everybody else, and because she doesn't make that effort with other people, and she might be, I guess, an afterthought in a way, which I unfortunately might be true. But it is nice that we keep getting flashes to her and exactly what she's kind of thinking in her head. So I think that something will come eventually where she kind of starts getting on and cueing into what other people are thinking and being like, damn, like I get a change, or oh, I don't like the way that I am acting or I am being right now. So hopefully she does change that up a little bit. Overall was great though, just building more foundation between friendship, picking up on cues, other people understanding things, quashing general conflicts that don't need to be there, and also kind of just talking things out and understanding that other people might not be as good at putting themselves out there and putting themselves into these new situations or dealing with new people. So having other people and a good support system and group of friends around you to kind of build you up, or also put you in a position that maybe allows you to enjoy yourself a little bit more, it can be a great thing. I really like it too, because it's not that we're just singling like one or two people out and we have to like go out like that. I like how we're going out as a group, and we get to see kind of these interactions and how they are and how real they kind of feel, and how you can relate. A majority of people watching could probably relate to certain situations like this occurring. Well, exactly not the same, but pretty similar in ways, or just find some sort of way to kind of relate it to themselves in their lives. And it was just really, really cool, and I like it a lot. That's all from me though. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Follow me on Twitter, my anime lows, both links are in the description. Leave any comments about this episode or the series in general, as well as any recommendations maybe for other shows to watch at some other point. I'll be back for episode 4 next week. You have a good one. See ya.